Greetings everybody, Ohio gun lawyer here from Munitions Law Group, munitionsgroup.com. You can find us online at munitionsgroup.com, Facebook, Instagram, you name it, we're on social media. Please share this video, drop comments. I'm back today with Steve Palmer of Yavich and Palmer, LPA, LLC?
Yeah, Yavich and Palmer Company. LPA, forget about all the back stuff.
It doesn't matter. He's our criminal defense professional affiliate. We do all of our criminal defense with Steve. One of the best in the country, in my opinion. Today, I wanted to address an issue that's been in the media a lot lately, and that is issues with law enforcement. We've had issues like the hands up, don't shoot incident.
Yep.
What other incidents have we had that you can remember, top of your head?
Well, I mean, just insert whatever names you have. It seems like for every 2 or 3 weeks we were seeing some police-related shooting on the streets in some part of the country, and then a bunch of backlash on both sides of the political aisle about what should happen there.
Baltimore had those 3 or 4 officers that were charged when the gentleman died in the back of the paddy wagon, remember? And I believe they were all acquitted, if I remember correctly.
A lot of them have either been not, I think those guys were actually acquitted, or were they, forgive me if I don't know, or they don't get charged, the grand jury doesn't decide to indict or something like that.
But they did charge some of them is the point. And so what I wanted to talk about today, Steve, is that these officers are charged with crimes, right?
There are times, and I think we're going to see a lot more in these times, officers charged with crimes. I think the days, for good or bad, no matter where you stand politically, I think the reality is this, is that just because you're a police officer is not going to give you a pass anymore. Right. That thin blue line, I think, is getting crossed more and more and more, and that's a result of the political climate, the local politics, or whatever, but it's happening. Right. And you're going to see police officers, if they go too far in a shooting scenario, whether they feel like it was justified, whether it was a natural human error, or whether there was something else at play, they're going to find themselves in a courtroom next to somebody like me defending themselves.
And we at Munitions Law Group and your firm, we're apolitical. When it comes to defense, at least for us, if a gun's used, we're doing it. You know, we will defend you. We defend the rights of those accused, and if it's a law enforcement officer or not. But we do want to let the viewers know, both Steve and I are very, very pro law enforcement. I actually carry a badge for a small village. I don't know if you knew that or not.
I did.
Yeah, I carry a small badge as an assistant village prosecutor. But you have any law enforcement background at all?
I don't have any law enforcement background. I have managed to work in this field, in criminal defense now, for 22 years. And you know, we encounter law enforcement all the time. And I'm not one of these defense lawyers who just throws hand grenades at cops. I mean, I don't look at it that way. I think they're doing their job. I'm doing my job. And the reality of it is, when it comes to the nuts and bolts, day in and day out criminal defense, we get along in a lot of ways. Yeah. And I got a friend I coached football with who's a police detective, and I had to have him on a witness stand and cross-examine him.
Oh, that was fun.
It was fun, right? And afterwards we talked about it. It was all business in a courtroom, and later on we shook hands on it. And I think that's how it should be.
I agree.
We don't have to hate cops just because we do criminal defense.
Yeah, I've trained a lot with cops myself. I'm good friends with some of the officers over at Ohio State University. I actually have a booth every year. If you guys are watching, you come up to the Ohio Tactical Officers Association up in Sandusky, Ohio, at the big water park they have up there, Kalahari, I believe it's called. I will be up there. I'm up there every year. Hopefully we can get you up there next year to man the booth. And a lot of law enforcement officers. I am just a nerd when it comes to tactical training, so I'm around law enforcement all the time, and I love them to death. So we support law enforcement, and if for some reason law enforcement officers need criminal defense, I would hope that they could come to both of us.
It's going to happen more and more and more, where if there's a shooting, if there's an incident where a police officer feels like he was justified, it's going to get scrutinized. And it's going to get scrutinized in a way that goes beyond simple administrative stuff. Sooner or later, it's going to happen where there's crimes and charges filed. And I think we've seen that. And just because, I think here's the problem. A lot of police officers are held to a standard that may be unrealistic, and it may be necessary in our society to do that. But everybody feels like they're going to be perfect just because they're police officers. Well, that's not true. They're still humans. Sure. And as we've talked about in another video, where you get that adrenaline rush and an officer's apprehending a suspect or in a dangerous situation, it's like the hair on everybody's neck is standing up already.
Everybody's amped up. Yeah.
And it's easy for everybody to go back and criticize that later. And now, for whatever it's worth, we're going to start seeing that in the criminal courtroom.
And you've defended law enforcement officers in the past, correct?
Absolutely. Yeah.
What is unique about the defense of a law enforcement officer? What should our viewers who are law enforcement know about when they're picking an attorney? what that attorney should be doing, because that's unique about that profession.
Well, you want to pick an attorney who understands how to navigate the politics of the system. Because like we just said, if you're a police officer, you're going to be held to different standards, and you're going to be looked at and scrutinized a little bit differently when you show up in a courtroom. And I think police officers also have to be very aware that when they get on my side of the table, it's no longer them calling the shots.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't mean that with disrespect, but it's like all of a sudden when you're used to being on the other side of it, and now you've got to take the stuff coming back your way, a lot of times we've got to sit back on our hands and wait and play chess instead of checkers. And I guess having an attorney who understands those concepts, who can work with prosecutors, who can work with judges, and work with other law enforcement, and most important, has the respect of the community.
Right.
To deal with the media, the politics, and the legal matters, that's what you got to look for.
Well, I know where they can find one. What's your website?
OhioLegalDefense.com. Happy to help out anybody who needs it.
If you call him directly, just make sure you mention Munitions Law Group. You can also find him through us at munitionslawgroup.com. We hope this was an enjoyable video. We hope that you guys do support our law enforcement and first responders out there, especially coming right off of 9/11, which was yesterday. So please drop comments below in support of those people. And if you have any questions, please drop comments below as well. Other than that, remember, as I always say, y'all, be safe out there and carry on.